Okay, let's move on to another
We
topic.
have no liability. None.
Okay, it's 11:30, we'll call, meeting of Borough Council to order, and start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
Councilmember Jarrett?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Here.
Councilmember Barnett? Councilmember Senko? Councilmember Reeser?
Here.
Council President James?
Here. Sorry. Okay. Do we have any public comment as they pertain to the agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, next, executive session to discuss personnel matters. Do we have any?
Unless it's necessary to the topic on the agenda, I have nothing.
I don't see if any. You? Okay. We'll move on to the fire department union contract. Who wants to take it away?
Chris, do you or I can? You all received a copy of the draft contract that the final outstanding item that was open for potential arbitration was safety staffing. Had a mediation session last Tuesday with the arbitrator, the union, their legal representation, and ours. We were able to come up with language that I believe is agreeable to both sides. That was the one outstanding issue. Based off that, if council is in favor of accepting the draft contract, fire department would sign it and it would carry us through 2026.
I've reviewed the draft language. I don't have any legal issues with any of it. I think it's entirely a policy decision by council as to whether or not this is acceptable as a resolution of the outstanding issues in the negotiation.
My only concern was what is reasonable and what is best effort in that language, and as long as it's clear to the chief that that doesn't mean we're gonna pay overtime. If reasonable effort doesn't say reasonable effort is overtime.
Well, I'm not going
Supplement
to
of number
promise
4.
you that there is no potential for a dispute about that. I think there is a potential for a dispute. However, I think that language gives us the managerial discretion that we need to manage those costs.
Yeah.
And I would encourage the chief to exercise that discretion. And if we get pushback down the road, we'll deal with it at that time. But we do have discretion with this language to interpret what our needs are and administer the fire department accordingly.
I did go back to the fire department union. They are fine with best effort being changed to reasonable. I have that confirmation by email. So assuming council's willing to move forward on this, that one change will be made and then we'll be ready to sign. They're actually planning on dropping off a signed copy signed by them tomorrow.
And part of this negotiation, we were talking about applying for a safer grant. Where does that stand?
In process, I had a call with Colleen this morning. Her and Kathy have identified other federal grants that have less hoops to jump through than are likely easier to procure. One of those, I sent her the spreadsheet this morning that Phyllis had put together as part of negotiations. The thought is go in now with the request starting in 24 for $500,000, which would cover those three for all three, those 24, 25, 26. The initial cost for three based off of 2023 wages in this contract is $414,866, including all benefits, including workers' comp, healthcare, longevity, et cetera, et cetera.
So the grant would be for new hires, even though we didn't hire them yet?
Apply now, hire in 24.
But then would the grant cover for the next 2 new hires in year 1, or would be spread out over year 1, 2, and 3?
I made it very clear council has no appetite to hire all three in 1 year, to spread out 24, 25, and 26.
But the grant, how would the grant
That I don't know the answer to, but I can find
I
out.
thought we discussed it, we get it, you get the grant awarded, and then as you hire,
Oh,
that
We're
portion.
talking
well, that's the
But
same.
that's the safer grant, this is
Oh,
a
that's true. I'm
federal,
talking about the safer
yeah, this
grant,
is a
right.
federal
Right.
grant, so I don't know, I
But the
just found out.
safer grant only covers year one of their salary,
Correct, the intention for this is to get the money up front for all three over the 3-year period,
but it's only covers their salary for 1 year.
correct. For now, that's not to say we can apply for further funding and likely receive it,
For additional hires or for
additional
these 3?
years,
Additional years,
Yes.
not additional hires.
yes.
Where do we stand on civil services?
They are in the process of doing the physicals, I think the final testing for that is next weekend, it's either next weekend or the following. You had 8 candidates, whether or not they make it through the physicals, yeah,
They have a list though, they have people that applied.
I think there were 15 total candidates,
Really?
whittled down to 8 after the first exam, the written exam.
Because originally there weren't many, right? Originally there was like nobody in town, they got some, okay.
Just getting back to Keith's issue, it would appear to me, and I hate to ask for an opinion, hypothetical opinion in the converse, but if we use the term best efforts, we would have, I believe, an obligation. Because we would have the ability to do it, without a doubt.
That's what I much prefer, the reasonable language. I do not want to use best efforts, I want to use reasonable. So that's where we have discretion. I agree, best efforts would limit our discretion. Reasonable expands our discretion.
Thank you.
Minute to the point of harm.
I think we just have to have that conversation with Colin.
Yeah, has that,
If file agreements, definitely.
has Colin been made aware of this yet?
No, Colin's gonna do what you tell him to do.
Alright, good. I'll make a motion, we accept the firefighter department union contract as presented.
I'll second it.
We have a
So
motion,
long as best efforts is.
That's how it was presented.
With reasonable efforts. I second it.
motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, so be it.
Let's do a roll call.
Oh, no, roll call.
Councilmember Brennan?
Yes.
Councilmember Dare?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes. Good, thank you.
That's the next country.
Police,
No, I mean the
When's that?
employees.
next year, I believe.
Which would be employees.
Who?
Which would be employees.
Oh,
Public Works, is that?
we did.
No, we just did
I
those,
did that.
police
Just
is
did.
next.
Oh boy.
Admin could unionize, but we won't.
Oh,
That's
okay. Is there any old business for council? Hearing none, we'll move on. Is there any new business to be brought before council? Hearing none, is there any public comment of non-agenda items?
Is the contract public document?
Once it's fully executed, it will be a public record.
So yes.
Once it's executed,
I got it.
We need right to know.
Thank you.
Subject to submission of a right to know request.
Fair enough.
any other public comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion second, all those in favor? Thank you very much, one and all. We are adjourned.